Hey guys, it's Tali and welcome back to my channel. Gosh, it feels weird saying that. I think I haven't posted in about a year now, sort of post Japan, and through a little bit of some other videos I decided to take a break. And today I wanted to talk about why and also what my plans are and do the mid-year book freakout tag. So the main reason I took a break was for my health. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which is a chronic illness that encompasses a bunch of symptoms when they don't really know what's wrong with you. We also got engaged, so my partner Anthony, who is been on this channel before, proposed at Christmas time, and we moved in with his mum and brother because the cost of living in Brisbane is insane. Other than that, yeah, started 2 languages. So as you've seen, I've been to Japan. That is my second time there. I went in 2017 with my high school for about 2 weeks. We did 1 week of travel and 1 week of homestay in a town called Hodatsu Shimizu. And this year we are going to Kansai for a month. We have been saving for, I think basically since that trip, we've been saving to do another holiday, and we decided to go back to Japan. So the languages I'm learning are Japanese and Mandarin. So Mandarin Chinese. So Japanese is my primary language, but I will be studying a few classes of Chinese, about 6 or 7, which will help me get my Masters in Teaching if I decide, or Masters of Business. I'm not really sure. The aim is to graduate by November 2025. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see. I actually finally created an Instagram purely for books and YouTube stuff, so you guys don't need to deal with all my cat content that my family do. But if you like it, please let me know, because I always take plenty of photos of the girls. And yeah, I will get into the questions. I'm going to have my tablet that I use as an e-reader for them, just to make sure that I'm able to sort of do the questions correctly. I think the mid-year freakout tag is a staple on YouTube. I think it's been around for a really long time. I've seen basically everyone do it. I don't know who created it originally. I'll try to find out and link it below. But here we go. What is the best book I've read in 2024 so far? That would be The True Bastards. I will put a picture up here because I'm not going to go into that mess of a bookshelf right now. But The True Bastards is the second book in the Lotlands series. I call it the Bastard series most of the time. It's by Jonathan French, and it follows one of the 3 main characters from the original books. I won't go into spoilers. The first book is about Jackal. He is a half-orc, half-human mongrel who rides in a hoof that protect the Lotlands and the human continent of Hispartha from full-blooded orcs and monsters and basically anything like that, until he faces a betrayal. I won't say anymore, that's what's on the back, but it's basically becoming, it might even be Scythe back there as #1 series, possibly even Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. I'm very interested to see how the final one goes. I'm currently reading it. I'm about 50 pages in, and it's action, 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 which is great. This is gonna double up. So, best sequel you've read so far in 2024. Also, The True Bastards. Purely because that's #2 and it is amazing, so I will just keep talking it up. I wish there was more books in the series. But yeah, this one, I think because of the character that leads it, it's just an extra level of joy and happiness for me. New release I haven't read yet, but I want to. To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X. Chang is probably the most exciting book I have found this year that I want to read. It's a debut romantasy novel. I haven't read too much romantasy yet. I have a few behind me. I've got like Throne of Glass, A Court of Thorn and Roses. It's sort of something that I haven't really dipped into. I'm more of a high fantasy reader. I'm not snobby like some people can be, but from someone who's grown up with fantasy and not really enjoyed romance as much as a big thing, it'll be interesting to try it. This involves a lot of magic over death, and the main character is basically she has power over death, and I will read the blurb. For as long as Yang Riying has been alive, the Emperor of Erlang has been occupied by the Romans, who mercilessly defeated the magic of her people. Now the invaders advance science, technology, and military make them gods. But Riying is special and has been blessed by death and born with the ability to pull life out of mortal bodies. When Antony II, Prince of Rome, uncovers Riying's power, he offers her an impossible deal. She becomes his private assassin and eliminates his rivals, and her family will be protected. But can Riying trust the prince, whose promises of a better world will make her heart ache and whose smiles make her pulse beat faster? When two enemies strike a dangerous bargain, will their war end? So this is definitely got a lot of those tropes that I do like. I like enemies to lovers or friends to lovers, sort of forced situations. I love the idea of death magic. I read Goth Ghoul last year. It is a Warhammer fantasy horror novel. If you guys want videos on Warhammer, let me know. I have a lot of shit to do with that. The biggest disappointment for me this year was probably Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. So that is book 4 of the Bridgerton series. I have the rest of them. I think I made a video last year where I talked about my opinion of the Duke and I, and how I ended up absolutely hating it. But I decided to take on the rest of the series, and basically some of them I've enjoyed and some of them I haven't. I'm currently on book 5, which I think centers on Eloise. But book 4, which focuses on Colin and Penelope, I kind of, yeah, it's hard because I rated it a 3, but it was probably a 2.75 sort of area. It was really great because it, like, the one before it I absolutely loved, and I will talk about that further because I think there's a question related to that. But I think for this one I had really high hopes. I love them in the show. I love Penelope, I love Whistledown and sort of all of that, the setting and the development, so it kind of fell flat, especially with how annoying Colin was. He was really controlling and really, like, he had to be probably the rudest character in the book that wasn't directly, like, always an antagonist. I mean, my biggest surprise, which is the next question, was the third book in that series. It is called An Offer from a Gentleman. It focuses on Benedict and Sophie, and genuinely I think it was my second best book of the year. I absolutely loved it. I was grinning from ear to ear. It is a cheesy Cinderella retelling, but it well, we had the moments where the men in Bridgerton are really kind of the sore point. It was pretty good, and it's what made me want to continue. I did enjoy Kate and Anthony's story in The Viscount Who Loved Me. I think that was really solid, and I still is again. That's something I enjoy, but I enjoyed their friendship the most, as well as the friendship that formed between Benedict and Sophie before they ended up, you know, falling in love and everything. And I think the whole journey they go on to be together is really romantic, and I really love it. New author or favorite new author? This would have to be, it's probably split between two people. So the reading list was a debut novel released in 2021 by Sarah Nisha Adams, but she is a new author to me and it is beautiful. I have done a full review post on Instagram, but it basically forms a unlikely friendship between a high schooler and an old man who, so she works at the library and he comes in sort of wanting to connect with his dead wife's favorite hobby, and sort of try to find books or something to connect with his granddaughter, and they form this friendship over a mysterious reading list that is just appeared in a bunch of people's lockers and things, and forms like their reading journey for the book. The other one that I absolutely loved, which is called Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, and translated by Geoffrey Trusselot. So this is the first book in a series. My partner read it sort of beginning of this year, finished it, and it absolutely destroyed me, I think in about March time. It was beautiful. Why you give it? Okay. Say hello. You woke up Toto. Sorry. Okay. My newest favorite character is probably Mukesh, I think, who is one of the main characters from the reading list. He is just he goes through such a journey throughout the entire novel, and I've found that like I just love him so much, and I love the whole town, but I really love the relationship he builds between him and his granddaughter and his daughters, and sort of their newer relationship since the mom passed away. I will also say Honda-san from Skullface Bookseller. Honda-san is also great and it's very comedic, which leads me to the next question, which is a book that made you happy. I think the manga this year has been really good for that. Split between two. It's probably the Skullface by Honda-san, like Skullface Bookseller Honda-san, because it was a really comedic and chaotic first volume of what it's like to work in a manga department, and what it's like to work in a bookshop during a chaotic release schedule, especially in Japan, and having to deal with foreigners, and the language gap. All of the characters also don't have human faces. They've got masks. My favorite is there's like a Dr. Plague mask and a lantern. If you hear noise at the moment, Sage is going crazy on her cat tower because I've had to move that in here. The other one that made me really happy, but also leads me to like the next question, which has made me cry, is volume 5 of Heartstopper. It is the second last one. I can't deal with the fact that it's going to be ending. I have been reading this probably since the first volume came out, if not the second. So I've basically been following it the entire time it's been releasing. Heartstopper by Alice Oseman is but it basically follows the thing of boy meets boy, boy becomes friends, boys fall in love. I will not talk about the plot of the 5th one, but like the rest of them, it was a 5-star. I am in love with the series. It is a staple that I go back to when I want both to feel like at home, but also to feel really comforted. When I was like coming out and dealing with like my sexuality and all that sort of stuff, these boys were really comforting, as well as a few of the other books up there on that shelf. They always It always makes me want to cry because of how much that series means to me. Okay. My favorite book to movie adaptation. I've not technically read these, but Yu Yu Hakusho is a manga series. It's like a fantasy manga series that centers on a few characters, and it's mixed with a lot of yokai and Japanese mythology. And basically the show, they came out with a live action Netflix adaptation. It was really, really good and made me want to read it. So I can't speak to the accuracy of the actual main show, or like the actual book or original anime, but for me it was really entertaining. I loved the finger guns and sort of how he centers his power and defeats rogue yokai, Oni, all those sort of things, but also works towards a greater mission. God. Is, what book series or books do you need to finish by the end of the year? I have two for this. It is The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, and I'm sort of finally into the books by Brandon Sanderson. I am 15 and a half hours into the second last audiobook, so book 13 of the main series, book 14 in chronological. My god, has everyone grown? I don't think I've ever read a bigger series aside from like fairy novels when I was a kid or something like that, but this is a phenomenal series. There was a few books in the middle that were a bit of a slog, but it is fucking awesome if you're into high fantasy. The other one is, I want to try and finish Queen of Air and Darkness, like that. So the Dark Artifices. I want to get further into Cassandra Clare's books this year, so I started the year off and I did a thumbnail with this little guy here. Well, not little guy, it's 600 pages, but this is my 10th or 11th book in the Shadowhunter universe. I'm currently starting the Ghost of the Shadowhunter markets, which is the other thing. I want to try and finish a novel in both Japanese and Chinese this year. Whether it's a manga or a proper novel, I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I think that's basically it. Sorry, this has been a really rambly long one, but I wanted to sort of get back, have a fresh start, and start recording content again. So, thank you. I will see you back in my corner of the internet next week.